G'day viewers, how you doing? We're going to do some tutorials now on how to get in and drive the particular trains and to get through and complete a service. Now, I'm not going to run a whole service, but we'll run a little bit. So I'm going to start with Hamburg and we're going to go new ride and we're going to choose this one, the 2 times DT5.1. So that's just a double length train, 77 meters long, 108 tons. So we'll jump into that. You can do free roam sandbox. You can go wherever you want and you can set your own destination and explore the place, or you can run a timetable. So we'll go in and do the timetable. I'm just going to leave that as it is, but you can change the day if you want to. You can change the month if you want to. So if you wanted to see different weather, for example, you can change your year if you want to. Sunny, partially cloudy, cloudy with fog, I'm guessing, light rain, heavy rain and a thunderstorm, or random. So let's get in here. Let's pick one that's during the day so we can see best. Its night lighting's pretty good. It's not realistic, but I actually prefer it. And we're going to go in here. We've just picked one of the services more or less at random. And the game's going to guide us through what we need to do anyway. So if we have a quick look outside, we are in one of the Hamburger specials, the DT5.1. And it's a fairly modern thing. I would actually call this a light rail rather than a train, to be honest with you. But they call it a train, so that's okay. So first things first, we want to activate the cab. You can either do that by putting your controller down here and using it, or you can just press the shortcut, which is a dot. I really would suggest if you're on console, to get the most out of this game, you're probably going to want a keyboard. In this one, you just accept the train configuration. There are a few other things you can do on this screen, but we'll come back to that because we need to enter the EBIS information first up. So you can see we need to do the service ID of 690727, 690727, and then we want to do route 88. And basically I'm just moving the cursor around and clicking on the keys, and we want 880458. And it gives you pretty good guidance for this. And then we want to accept that with the green button. If you make a mistake, you can press Lucian, which is like backspace. All right, next up, we want to unlock the doors, and we're unlocking on the right-hand side. You can either press the button here, or you can press the 9 key on the number pad. On these trains, you don't have to do any announcements. It's all done for you. It's only on the Berlin yellow trains you need to do announcements. We're going to close our cores with the number pad 2. Now, just before we drive away, let's run through the cameras. So 1 camera is here in the cab. 2 takes you outside the cab. 3 is another form of external camera. I think they're the opposite way they are in Train Sim World too. 2 seems to float through things. 3 seems to bounce off things. Then there's 6, which is a fixed camera, which sits where you are. Now, one thing to watch, if we just go back into the cab, if you press 6 while you're here, you're actually inside the train and you can't get out. So just press 1. So if you press 2 and then 6, you can get the static camera. So you need to go to one of the other external cameras to get you out of the train. Now, one thing to watch, you'll notice the marker 873. So it's just this marker up here, which is telling me how far we have to our next stop or the next thing it wants you to do. If I go onto the 3 key, you'll notice that that marker is now different, 888. And if I go onto the 6 key and I move further away, so the marker's actually from you, not from the train. So you've got to be careful with that, because if you're rolling into a station and you're here, then you're about 150 meters further away than you think it is. So you're going to have to watch that. I have had that particular issue myself. Anyway, we're going to get there late because we're leaving late. That's fine. So in this one, we only have the 1 controller. You don't really need to worry about anything else on this one unless you want to do some things with here. So if, for example, you need to turn the wipers on, so you click on that, click on automatic, click on mode to make it automatic, and then you can turn them on. You can't actually do the windscreen heater or anything like that. And if we pop out of there back to the main screen, so you can see that we have got the wipers on now. That's the only way you can turn them on and off in this train. There don't seem to be any keyboard shortcuts. I tried to map some, but they didn't work. So we are That's interesting. We've gone in there and it's turned them off. Okay. I'll accept that. I don't think that's valid, but that's fine. Just going in there turned them off. We shall start driving. You've only got one control in this one. It's the combined brake and throttle. So it's A increases it, D decreases it, at least in the default mappings. Your doors must be shut or you can't move. And when you first go into A, you'll notice that the brake pipe charged up to 5 bar and off we went. This one doesn't have any form of speed control, so you have to do it. So and on that signal I just saw a 5, so we're going to be restricted to 50, so we have to stay under 50. So we're going to be going downhill now, so I'm going to put on just a little bit of brake just to control us as we go downhill, to keep us under 50. You don't have to go crazy in this to keep up with the timetable. And I can see that we're going to start going uphill, so I'm actually going to release that now, because if we drift a bit higher to 50, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to put on a little bit of power as we climb this hill, just a little bit though, just to maintain our speed. So remember, A is increasing it, D is decreasing it. It automatically goes from the brake mode to the accelerating mode or driving mode. We're allowed to do 80, but that's silly because we're coming into a station. We're already late, but that's fine. And it wants us to stop at the marked spot. You need to get relatively close to it, but it's not that picky. If you go through the station, all you can really do is keep going, because while you can stop the train and go back, it punishes you. So you're better off just, if you go through it, just keep on going. And give this lots of braking now. We're going to run this over a little bit because I'm talking too much instead of actually doing what you're supposed to do. So there we go. We've stopped about 17 meters over, but that's fine. Unlock our left-hand doors, numpad 7. You notice the game is prompting you what to do. If you're using controller, it changes to the controller prompts. You can press the S key, which will drop the lever back to its central position, which is fine while the doors are open. Then we can close our doors because we're ready to go. Just got to wait for them to close, and we'll pop out to the outside camera and watch this one depart. All right, we've got the doors closed symbol. Both of the doors have gone black down here, so they are closed now. And we can accelerate our train. Now remember, that marker's not going to change because we're sitting still on a still camera. I actually think that that's probably a very poor design, because the marker should be driven off the seat in the cab, not off the player's position. You can see an AI train over there. Alrighty, we're allowed to do 80, so let's go full fang. And we're stopping a bit less than a kilometre, 850 odd metres to go. So we're getting close to the 80 now. We can start bringing the power off. You get rewarded for staying under the speed limit. This train stops pretty well, not as well as the yellow Berlin trains do though. They stop remarkably well. They have magnetic brakes, so it helps. Alright, we're 300 metres out, so we should start gently braking now just to start bringing our speed down. Gradually increasing that as we're coming into the station. Looks like I left that a bit long again. Actually, let's just drive through this one. It's not the greatest tutorial, but let's just drive through this one so you can see what happens. So we'll just accelerate again. And it will eventually, there we go. We skipped that one and we got pinged for missing a stop. So we've got 600 odd metres to the next one. This train is a bit of a bit slow on the retardation. It doesn't slow down that well, so let's give it more brakes. This feels happier, so I started braking about 400 metres out this time. Got a bit of gravity helping us with going uphill. The physics is actually pretty good in this one. It's going to reduce the braking now because we're coming into the station a bit too slow. So you'll just have to basically play it and get used to it and see how you go. You can probably put a little bit of power on as we're coming into the station rather slowly. If you come towards a signal or a station way too fast, it'll stop you. Or it'll try to anyway. Doesn't do that with all the trains I've noticed, but some of them it does. Just roll up to our stopping point. The H marker there is where you want to stop, but also with the guidance from the UI. You don't have to be exact. The closer you are, the better it does things for you. So I'll press S to knock that back down to 0 again, basically to center the lever. And we can start closing the doors because it wants us to. And once that white door icon on the HUD goes out, we'll know the doors are shut. And we've got our T lights gone out over here as well. So this T light's an indicator. And then we can drive. You don't have to watch the HUD, of course. You can watch the speedometer in the train.
Nächster Halt, Sierichstraße, Ausstieg links.
The announcements are automated on this train, so you don't really need to do anything. Just going to start slowing that down now. Because we're going to be going downhill and we've got to get her down below 50. Right about... Yep, going too fast. There we go. We'll keep the brakes on anyway, just not as hard because we're coming into our station. Drop them off a bit because we're going uphill. Generally speaking, if you're doing about 40 to 50 kilometers an hour at the end of the platform, you can make it stop. But you don't have to. You can keep up with the timetable being a bit slower. I'm not doing an awesome job of demonstrating that right at the moment because I started off a bit late. All right, 7 key again to open these doors. Now, I think the other thing I'll show you here is deactivating the cab to go the other way. So if we just press the comma to deactivate the cab, and we can climb out of the cab door, just push it, and click on it, close it. I won't actually go the other way because it will punish me. We can move back a little bit, I suppose, and see what it's like. So we're just running up the back end here. You do need to do this from time to time in some of the services and scenarios. It'll guide you through it. It'll tell you what it wants you to do and where it wants you to do it. Sometimes it even talks to you on the radio. So if we jump into the seat now, activate this cab. It's basically the same thing. You'll also do this if you're in shift mode and you just keep going continue. So it will still remember our settings, and we can just move it now. Looks like we've got the doors open. Let's just close the doors. They are closing. I won't move far because it'll end, but there you go. You can just drive again. If you move backwards, it will just end your session. So if you run over a station, don't bother doing it. You'll just end up a bit problematic. So we'll just label this cab again with comma, and we can then run back up to the other end, do the same thing again. It remembers your EBIS information. You don't need to put that in again. So if you're running a full shift, you only need to get into EBIS once, and it seems to know what to do after that. Pop back up here. And we'll be able to drive off again, but we might be nice and open the doors and let these people in. So it's 2 clicks to get the door open, 1 to open it, 1 to push it. Start the cab up again, and we should be able to get the doors open even though we haven't accepted it. There we go. And this one's got some speed zones changing, so it's probably a good thing to do. So I'll just close these doors. S to 0 it. And get going. It doesn't seem to matter what position you leave the handle in this train. So looking down here, you can see there's a 4 in a triangle. It's warning us that there's a 40 zone coming up. So you want to make sure you stay under 40.
Nächster Halt, Kellinghusenstraße, Übergang zur U1. Ausstieg links.
We're even later now, of course, because I showed you that. In fact, we've gone through the 40 zone into a 70 zone, so we're fine again. We can just accelerate. We do have a station coming up, though. When you're getting into the subway, one thing you want to watch is when you're first going in there and you're going downhill really hard, you're going to want to be on the brakes because it's pretty steep. You can see one of the subway tracks going down there. You can see how steep it is compared to the line that's staying up. Alright, that's about all that's useful to show you with this train, so I will end this one here, and we'll go over to one of the other trains. And if you've got any questions, just chuck them down below and I'll see what I can do to help you out. Alrighty, that's it. Have fun, folks. See ya.
We played a game.